With an average rainfall of 18 inches a year, it's no surprise that our water supply is limited. Fortunately, the City of Santa Barbara has a range of water supplies and ongoing water conservation programs.
Our primary supply is the San Ynez River, and we get water from two sources on the San Ynez River. The Cachuma project is our biggest source, and then the Gibraltar Reservoir, which is a city project, is also another substantial source. In addition, we have groundwater and recycled water, and we rely heavily on conservation to help control demand so that we can meet our demands with our local supplies.
In an effort to promote water conservation, provide revenue stability, and ensure customers are paying their proportionate share of costs, the city recently adopted new water rates.
One of the more significant changes in the rates is that you'll see if you use a lot of water. Right now, for a family, a household, we have 3 tiers. We have a basic tier, which is supposed to meet minimum inside needs, just sort of a basic lifeline supply, and that's the least expensive of our supplies. And then there's a next tier 2, which is supposed to be sized to be enough to meet the typical outdoor and indoor needs of a family. And we've tried also to keep that relatively cost effective or affordable. What we have changed in this proposed rate structure is that that third block, for what we consider a higher use of water, is significantly more expensive. So there's a bigger differential between the tier 2 and the tier 3 block.
To determine the new rates, a comprehensive water rate study was conducted that analyzed both the revenue needs of the city water system and the cost of service to provide water.
What we did is we actually followed the standard practice for the industry of looking at how much it costs us to provide different classes of customers with the service that they're getting. And we assigned, based on the cost of providing water service to those different types of uses, a rate calculation to each of those different uses that will help to cover the cost of providing that service.
Although a few major changes have been made, the overall water rate structure will remain largely the same.
The average water bill for residential and for commercial really won't see too big of a change as long as you're using water efficiently. You're only going to see more of an impact on your bill if you're using a large amount of water.
Irrigation meter water rates have been set to a monthly water budget, which will encourage efficient irrigation.
There's really a scientific way of figuring out how much should that be. And that changes as the weather changes. We have weather stations in Santa Barbara that tell us how much that water is, and then we take the square footage of landscape, the types of plants, and we can say, this is it. This is how much water your landscape should be using.
Watering your landscape efficiently and staying within your monthly water budget does not have to be difficult. In fact, the city has a lot of resources that can help.
We have, first of all, a really great free service where we will come out to the property and do an irrigation evaluation. Our staff will look at all the water use in the landscape. We will evaluate the type of irrigation, the sprinklers, how much water is being applied, give a recommended schedule, show you all the tools that we have. The second thing is the city has a lot of great resources on our website. We have online irrigation scheduling tools, as well as a weekly watering index where we take real-time weather data from our weather stations and put it into a percentage that you adjust your irrigation system. So you just adjust it up or down based on that weekly number that's on our website. Third, we have rebates on smart irrigation controllers. And what smart irrigation controllers do, they're your sprinkler timer that turns the watering on and off on your landscape, and they're smart. So how they're smart is that the weather data is coming into them and telling them, oh, it's foggy today, I don't need to water as much, and it automatically does it for you.
Overall, the new water rates were not designed to increase costs for the average user, but rather to minimize the impact to ratepayers in the long term.
Being able to keep within our existing resource, even though you might see incremental increases in your bill, they would be much larger if we needed to replace one of our supplies. If we had to bring our desal plant online as a permanent supply, it would really significantly increase your bills by a lot more than what you're seeing under our proposed structure, which anticipates being able to meet our demands with our existing supplies.
We live in a semi-arid climate. We have limited water supplies. This year is a good indication of that. We have about 50% of our average rainfall. Water conservation is extremely important for us to be able to have enough water to carry us through these dry times. The city's residents and businesses have done an excellent job in saving water through the years, and the city thanks everyone for doing so much with water conservation. And now we need to continue the good work we've done and always have water conservation be in the forefront of how we use water.